Welcome to Bruins Overtime Live, presented by BuyAToyota.com. For offers not seen on TV, visit BuyAToyota.com. With Billy and Razor, I'm Sophia. 4-1, the final over the Carolina Hurricanes for the Boston Bruins as they wrap up their 6-game road trip. And guys, we've been talking about, I would say, for the last 6 games before this. So for this final stretch of the season, the Bruins need to figure out details, get in some good habits before they get into the playoffs. And today, they really had a great game that would indicate, and I know there's more, indicate that they looked playoff ready at least today.
Well, I think you can tack on last game too.
Yes.
Against Nashville and maybe even a couple of games ago against Florida. Overall, this is becoming a pretty good road trip, Razor. By no means when I say a perfect game, but it was a really well-executed, almost boring road game after the first period. Some PK, some not great power play. But overall, 5-on-5, you said it heading into the third, keep it 5-on-5, they did. He really executed little things well in this game. Defensive support, getting pucks out, taking some icings, etc. Overall, as well played a road game against a really good team. Trying to remember a better one that we've seen this year.
They smoked Carolina tonight. Yeah. Absolutely smoked them. They made Carolina look like a bad hockey team. It was impressive all the way around. I love their breakouts. They didn't spend any time in their zone. There was one shift in the second period where they iced it and stayed out long.
They used the middle of the ice well in their own zone. Remember, they couldn't do that well against Florida because Florida was so aggressive on them. Mm-hmm. But here they seemed to use it real well. They were able to use that play real well, and they got out cleanly.
Mm-hmm. Brad Marchand, guys, we're not just starting here because of the 400th. Chronologically, it makes sense. It opened up the scoring, but finally, he got his 400th, guys, and it was a nice breakaway goal. Didn't know it went in, but it did, and here it is.
Yeah, it wasn't perfectly clean, but at this point, Brad needed 400. However, he was going to get it, whether it was going off his head, whether he was breakaway off of his leg on the rebound or crashing into Freddie Andersen, whatever it was. And this is what you're talking about, Billy, in the middle of the ice and support. Geeky does a great job coming all the way across the ice, and Brad stretches. And that pulled the Carolina defense so much tonight. He gets a little chip on him, goes underneath the pad of Andersen. Didn't know it was in, didn't know where it was, but he gets the puck and he gets 400.
It didn't really seem like Andersen, well, maybe he didn't know where it was because he got bumped. He turns around and sees it there. Did he go down a little awkwardly there, Andersen, meaning forward? If he had stayed upright, that protects it more, or is this just one of those, I'll call it fluke almost?
Yeah, it was fluke, yeah. That was fluke.
Okay, but Brad didn't know it went in until everybody's there, and then he
smiling.
He takes the monkey off his back.
Yes, Brad. He's our superstar of the game, sitting at $3.99 for a long time, but finally we can show you this graphic. With 400-plus goals in Bruins history, Brad Marchand, 5th on the list. Just needs a couple more to pass Rick Middleton. And next season, he'll be looking to pass his buddy Patrice Bergeron. But congratulations to Brad on that goal. All right, David Pastrnak, different kind of milestone. He hit 50-plus last season, but we'd like to see him do it again this season, and he gets goal number 47. Some sweet dangles by him.
Razor, I don't know if there's a goalie can do here that much. You know, Anderson's going to be protecting the side. We'll show you the whole play here. He's going to corral it. He gets, but when he reads the fact that nobody's going to him, Freddie Andersen goes down, but it's not like he's on his knees the entire time. He goes down at the last second. Pastrnak senses it and absolutely zips it upstairs.
Yeah, and again, using the middle of the ice, Zach is just so good right now. Zach has been amazing, pulling up, and you know he's going to back to that wing. David just tries to find some open space, and we talked about the man-on-man coverage. Jarvis gets lost, they get confused, they don't pick up the right guys, and David just waiting. If Freddie Andersen pulls off and goes to his left just a little bit with the right-handed shot, he'll go back over the shoulder, which he did. If Freddie didn't move and he stayed and held that right side, then David probably takes another half step and rips it low glove. So it's a no-win when a guy like David Pastrnak has this much time as a right-handed shot coming off that wall there.
And again, it's impossible to stop that, right? But you saw it was Heinen. He was below the goal line. A lot of times he would almost wait for that pass, right? This maybe David could give it low, not half wall, but low over to Heinen. But I think Heinen says, wait, this is again man on man. If I come from below the goal line up higher, that's going to help open up that lane right there. And it did, because Burns chased him above, beyond the bottom of the circle right there and opened up that side lane for David.
Well, it's an easy read for Heinen because in that situation, he pulls out and Burns has to make a decision. He's got to go to one or the other.
Yeah.
He goes with Heinen. If he had went to David probably gives it to Heinen. He gets that opportunity, and that's the problem with the man-on-man, and that's why we talk about the Bruins in their own zone and the layers and the centerman. Those plays don't happen in the Bruins' own zone because of their zone play.
I don't know if it's possible to explain quickly or just the difference, just the fans are listening. So the Bruins, their defense would have, you remember when Jarvis kind of went and then peeled off, a defenseman would have sealed on him.
That's right.
The winger would have stayed
on Heinen.
Instead of staying on Heinen, he would have gone to him. The other defense rotates over, and then the center would come back to the middle ice, or the low forward would come back to middle. That's the difference. Here, it's a strict man-on-man, and therefore you pick up a guy and you read it. But Jarvis didn't read it there.
Yeah. Well, that one, for David Pastrnak from Zacha and Heinen. And then Heinen gets one from Zacha Pasta and Zacha, his 16th of the season.
This line continues to go, and they played so well in Nashville the other night. They played so well, and this is, again, a product of the man-on-man. Carolina had 4 days off. They hadn't played since Saturday, and it looked like it in the first period. They were not ready to go. They were not ready at the drop of the puck like the Boston Bruins were, and it's, they get fortuitous there. David fans on it, works out, goes right to Heinen, but Heinen smartly, and as we've talked about how smart he is, goes right to the net and allows David to find him.
And he picks the player right there. He may have gotten away with 1-2 Razor. He might have on Guentzel, but regardless, there's movement. And again, that creates chaos for the man-on-man. The way that these guys moved, and by the way, they were going up against the Aho line an awful lot in this game.
Smoked them.
The Aho line was all -2, maybe even -3, because they were on the ice. I'm assuming all those guys for the 6-on-5.
Yeah, exactly.
This line really, really good again.
Yeah, 21 points between the three of them in 6 games, and just clicking and passing the eye test, obviously, as we take a look at the points. But we're going to go from the offense to the goalies and stoppages. Crease coverage presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance as we take a look at Jeremy Swayman's numbers on the road this season. In 20 starts, 12, 1-7, 1 shutout, .917 save percentage. Guys, he spoke with Adam after the win.
Jeremy, congratulations on the win against another quality opponent. Just talk about what stood out to you about this win.
I just think a full 60 minutes from our team. Really excited to see that, especially on the end of this road trip. And guys are blocking shots, obviously, all the way to the end. Really special stuff to see for us moving forward.
And at the end of the second period, after the Carolina Hurricanes score a power play goal, you guys come up with a big penalty kill. How big was that going into the break?
That's important momentum. Any special teams, whether it's a power play or a penalty kill, you want it to be momentum for your team. And I think our guys did a great job of that. Again, blocking shots, making sure we're finishing out our 5 outworking their 4, or our 4 outworking their 5. So really special stuff to see, and excited to get back home to Boston.
Personally, how do you feel about your game heading into the final 5 games of the year?
I know it's crazy to think it's gone so fast. It's been such a fun year, but I'm excited for what's to come, baby.
Yeah, postseason's on the way. Thanks, Jared.
Awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, makes our little debate a little juicier with Jeremy Swayman having such a great game, but good for him, and also looking good heading into the postseason.
One regulation loss all season. It's crazy. Really impressive stuff on the road. Again, love the Bruins defensively. Love they only gave up 28 shots in Carolina. That's a really low number in that building. They average, I think you said 35, Billy. He was good, really good, and didn't have to do much. And that's the beauty of tonight's game is he made a couple saves that were important at the right time, like that one right there, 7 minutes left in the second. He made a couple on the power play, but it wasn't up to him tonight, and that's the beauty of the game.
Yeah, it was outstanding. They didn't rely on him, but they needed him just to make those couple to stay focused.
Yep.
And in the first period, Carolina, before the Bruins got their goals, they were doing their Carolina things. They were taking putts. We saw some earlier highlights, shots from putting pucks on net from everywhere, like literally from the goal line. And, I'm not going to say it's harder for a goal like that, but if there's bodies in front, Razor, it has to be harder because you're worried about a carom, maybe not so much a screen, but pucks pinballing around. He handled it well. He did everything. He did what they asked and needed, and he was like the rest of the team. Except for the one puck touch very early in the game, I thought his game was very almost boringly clean. Is that a fair way of describing it?
Yeah.
Boringly clean. All right, we're going to add that to your list.
Listen, they needed a boring clean third period as a team. And
Listen,
they did just that last game and this game.
Yeah, and they closed out in Florida too. So that's 3 games they've held leads against really good teams on the road on this road trip since getting screamed at and yelled at that they closed out immaculately, like perfectly, no issues, no stress, no nothing.
No,
so
of course, yeah.
This is, they've taken a lot of heat for those finishes over this season.
And they should have earlier.
As a first-place team, 105 points in the league. They take a lot of heat on those last 6-on-5s and the overtimes. So they deserve some flowers here for the way they played the last 6 days.
You're right. Boringly clean is a compliment in this sense. But what wasn't clean was the floor that you picked up that M&M from.
I never found the
Oh, you
M&M.
didn't find it, but you were looking.
No,
I said there's dust there, Billy. Be careful. He didn't care.
I did, right.
He kept
You said
going.
no. And then Razor said there might be mice there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. He's still going to be looking for it.
That's why I opened up Mrs. Freshly.
Okay. All right, let's check in on the Panthers and Senators. Give you an update. Florida already at this point leading 5-0. Matthew Tkachuk with the power play goal, his 24th of the season. 6-0 Panthers, and that would be the final score. So you know what comes next.
They took it out. They took it out on the Ottawa.
Oh, yeah. They did.
Ottawa's perfect for us. They're the perfect slump busters, those Ottawa Senators.
Well, here you go, guys. The standings. Bruins still, because they got their own 2 points, 4 points ahead of them. And Panthers right there behind them, looking at the wild card. The Lightning and Islanders jumping over the Caps.
Well, obviously sets up a big Saturday game at TD Garden.
Must win for Florida.
Yes. Must win for Florida on Saturday.
It's going to be rocking. We've got a lot more to come on Bruins Overtime Live. We're going to get dressing room reaction from this win against the Carolina Hurricanes and hear from head coach Jim Montgomery right after the break.